The royal rift between Prince Charles and Harry has apparently worsened, with the pair barely speaking in the last 8 months since Prince Philip's funeral. Palace sources say relations between the two are at an all-time low. It's always sad, I think, any time when families fall out, but I don't know, there's something about Christmas that maybe makes us think about it a little bit more. And you look at Charles and Harry, you think, well, the Queen hasn't been in the best of health and she lost her husband, and wouldn't this be a nice time for an olive branch, maybe for the family to get together? But then it begs the question, you know, is family blood thicker than water, our family? Do you always have to, you know, kind of reconcile just because it's family?
Well, I think people always think that, you know. I mean, it's been well documented that me and my sisters fell out. We didn't speak for about 4 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. But... And it was amazing because I had every single person that mentioned it was like, but it's family. And I was like, but you can't always do that with family. Sometimes you have to go, I know, but if they were friends, I probably wouldn't speak to them over things that had happened and things that had been said, etc. However, it does take something sad or something momentous to make you go, actually, this is silly. And for us, it was when Bernie died. And obviously, you know, we were all there. And that makes you go, actually, this is silly. But what we did, we reconciled and got back together and decided to just never talk about that again, as in the whys and wherefores.
As you'll probably never agree, whatever it was.
We'll never agree on what happened. So that's fine, and we'll put that to bed now, but let's not go there again and start it all over again. Because a lot of people go, well, here's an olive branch, but guess what? I still don't agree with you, and it doesn't work. But I am, and luckily we're closer now than ever, and we don't talk about that situation. All we've learned from it is let's never get to that situation again. Talk about it more probably at the time instead of just cutting each other off.
I suppose talking, Brenda, is that, you know, we're all probably guilty of letting things fester a bit, aren't we?
Absolutely.
But then people will still say to you, I know, but it's family, it's your brother, it's your mum.
But that's the hard thing as well. I totally agree with what Colin's saying, but the hard thing is when you've got a family, especially big families, you've got everybody sort of putting in and contributing that, you know, might not have had anything to do with the argument in the first place. And then you're thinking, oh, my gosh, I don't want to take sides with that person. I don't want to take sides with that person.
Yeah, it affects the whole family.
You know, and then that'll create even more of a problem and heartache. So, you know, like you say, communication is absolutely key. Try and stop it before it actually
festers. Did it affect
festers.
any things, like if you were having, because you're a big, very big family, when you had family get-togethers or something, did you say, well, I'm not coming if she's coming?
I never said I'm not coming. I just never put them in that position. Like, if I knew something was happening, I'd say, listen, it's going to be difficult for everyone, so I'll just stay out of it and it's fine. And, you know, I would never ask the rest of my family to choose. But it was horrible to watch the rest of my family being put in that position because they love us all and they wanted us all there. But equally, you know, I was talking to someone recently who'd fallen out with family members, and they were all just being stubborn because he wanted to get back in touch. But why should I be the first one to make... And I went, you know what?
Someone has
just put your ego aside and just make the first move. He did, and they are now back better than ever because it just took that one person to go, come on now, we've been
Sometimes
there.
it takes an outsider, possibly.
Yeah, it does.
But do you agree, Janet, with, you know, that blood is thicker than water, it's family,
Well,
family's got to stick together?
I think growing up, my mum and dad each had someone on their side. So my dad and mum and dad played my sister and I off against each other anyway, and we were very different personalities. And we went through whole periods, my sister and I, of hardly speaking, and I was accused of turning up at her wedding in a designer outfit and upstaging her and all that old rubbish you get in a family. And so what really brought us together was my dad dying suddenly from a heart attack in the Canary Islands. You know, he had a decent innings and then he died playing cards, which is good, I think, if you've got to go. And we just got this mad phone call from my mum in the middle of the night saying, he's gone, and we had to get on a plane and get out there. And so we had to talk to each other on the plane to Tenerife. And, you know, we had to sort out a really difficult situation. So that kind of glued us back together. But then we had the issue of my mum still playing us off one against the other. So there were periods when I didn't talk to my sister. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, I was there for her. But I just think sisters in particular have that relationship.
Well, I was just going to say, but is that the moment when you kind of go... There is that thing of, like, well, she's still family. Even if you didn't get on, you weren't the same.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes you didn't even like her. Something about that family
There's
tie...
always that. It doesn't matter what happens. You can go, I hate that she did that. I dislike her, blah, blah, blah. But you always love them. I never stopped loving my sisters. I didn't like them during that period, but I always loved them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's happened.
Yeah, and I suppose, Brenda, you know, people say, well, you can't choose your family.
Yeah.
You choose your friends, you know, and I would consider my good friends family to me, and my old friends.
I think there's so many people that do say that. I'm like, you like my sister, you like the sister I never had, or you like my brother, you know, and I think it's nice when you can have that friendship and that relationship so close with somebody that you can turn to them with the family problems or whatever it is. But, yeah, I mean, my family's so big, it would just not even work if people weren't talking to each other, because it just gets into a big melting pot. Just come on, let's hug and kiss and make up.
We asked you, because people were saying that some people say they secretly wish they could divorce their family. And we asked you, 38% of you said yes. You
That's quite a large proportion.
Secretly, quite a large. But listen, if you've had a fallout with the family or whatever and you're trying to sort it out, we hope you get to sort it out.